Blog entry 118 from 6/26 of 2023. Yesterday in conversation, I was speaking about how to relate and connect with family while walking the path of Bhakti. The rapid growth and change that can happen on this path can sometimes make it challenging to stay steady in your practice while maintaining relationships with friends or family from before you began. From my experience, it's important to enjoy and embrace common ground rather than trying to force change on anyone. It's also important to hold space for both your own growth and the natural shifts in your relationships. Sometimes you'll find that growth brings you closer to people from your past, and other times space will naturally open between you. That space may come and go over time, and that's part of the rhythm of change. As I grow, certain topics may naturally arise in conversation, and I share my thoughts, but not in a way that turns the discussion into something polarized or black and white. Each person is on their own journey, which may or may not resemble mine. At this point in my path, I often bring these moments to Krishna, asking if a certain topic, idea, or action would be good for that person. Sometimes the answer feels like yes, and sometimes it's no. Okay, so what I'm saying in this blog post, I was really thinking about it in the moment back when I wrote this, but a better example that's a little more practical and just easier to relate to. People like horses are animals, prey animals is what they call them. So they have to learn to survive empathically, and they have to feel almost 100% of whatever animal's approaching them, right? So if you see a picture of a zebra drinking water beside a lion in a river, the zebra knows long before the lion does when it becomes hungry. So the zebra runs away long before the lion becomes hungry. And so that's why they use horses in therapy and things like that with people. But there's a common understanding among horse owners where when they spend time with their horses can feel what they're feeling 100%. And so it can validate their emotions, and it can also cause them to have to work on their emotions. Because if they're really upset inside and they want to go ride the horse reflects that to them. So the horse acts upset. So the person has to constantly work on their emotions. But what can happen is, as they're becoming more developed emotionally, because we develop in different ways and different ranges, but their emotional growth, and they're working on their stuff more and more because they just want to hang out with their horse that won't hang out with them if they don't work on their stuff. They're growing. And it's pretty common that for people that own horses, but say they have a horse, but then their partner doesn't, their boyfriend or girlfriend. Well, the person with the horse will start feeling more validated emotionally from hanging out with their horse because their horse is kind of holding them accountable to work on their things and their stuff and their emotions and their baggage. So what can happen is they're growing faster than the person they're with because the person they're with may not put that work in on a regular basis, And so the thing is when you're wanting to grow and when you're wanting to expand and heal and change your overall experience in life, eventually you're going to be growing at different rates as everyone. So my advice on that is you have to hold space for your growth, but also not write off everything. And there'll be a flow. Some relationships, you'll feel them shift and they won't feel as nice or as fun, and you all will just naturally start spending less and less time together. Other ones will heal and grow and maybe flourish. And it's hard to know up front which one will happen with which. But the best advice I have is to enjoy the similarities. So if you have a friend and y'all like to hike and that's what you do, and you feel yourself getting closer or further away from this person, enjoy hiking with the person and let it flow. Don't close all the doors and shut everything off and that sort of thing, unless you feel you need to. And then I understand that as well. But there is a natural flow, and as you grow, new people will come, old people will go, or vice versa. And it's best just not to have a knee-jerk reaction, because the path of Bhakti can be pretty challenging with the purification and the self-growth and stuff like that. So adding in intense isolation or ending of relationships or trying to make really big decisions on things like that, as well as healing and growing and tending to your personal development on the path of bhakti, it really makes it a lot. So hold space for yourself, your growth, enjoy the similarities. Worst case scenario, if you have to end relationships, do what you got to do as you decide. But there is a nice flow, and generally you don't have to make any sharp choices like that, per se. I hope that helps. All right, well, that's all I had to say today in this blog entry, just about emotional development and how that can show up in your life. And again, it's not just a spiritual practice, but it can come from different things as well. Owning a horse as an example. So again, it helps to have a little more context for when you're in that process, and that's part of your journey. All right, well, thank you for tuning in. Sorry for a little bit of starting to ramble some. And have a great rest of your day. If you have a chance, like and subscribe to your YouTube channel, to this YouTube channel. I'd really appreciate it. All right, bye-bye.